So Gaffer, this weekend sees your side begin their FA Cup journey at Plainmoor. In a break from league matters, from your team looking to bounce back from 2 defeats on the road, could this be a good time to have an FA Cup tie?
Yeah, it can be, for sure. I mean, whatever competition it is, after a couple of defeats, you want to win it. And the FA Cup is obviously very important to clubs like ourselves and Havant. So we've got to be careful. They're a decent team. They're doing very well in the Conference South at the moment. So we've got to give them every respect, as we always say. And but you know, you're always looking forward to the next game after a defeat, because it's an opportunity to get a win, albeit a difficult match.
Now, I mustn't forget though that our last home game at Plainmoor saw your team produce undoubtedly their most complete performance of the season with the 5-0 win against Wealdstone. Winning's obviously a positive habit. Apart from making it through to the first round proper of the FA Cup, a victory could also have benefits for the league form as well, couldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a win will promote confidence, won't it? That's what we want. We had the last couple of games at home, we've won. You know, we had to turn that around. Is that right? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Wealdstone and Southend. And when we needed to win those games, we had the draw as well at Chesterfield. So we know we've got that in us. The last couple of games have been difficult games, let's say. You know, the two teams are going very well at the moment. We got beat by both, obviously away from home. So we got to make, you know, everyone says it, you've got to try and make your home games a fortress. But the reason why I want that is because we want our supporters to see their team winning, and they know they've got it in them. But of course, opposition teams are trying very hard to stop you in your tracks, and that's what the last couple of teams have done. But it will show character, as always, if you do come back from a couple of defeats well. And it's nice that it's the FA Cup, because that gets you into the first round proper, which is the aim. And then we've got Kingsley in another home game. So whereas we had 2 away, now we've got 2 at home, but we've got to take advantage of that.
Now, the National League is obviously the team's bread and butter, and that occupies the team's attention for most of the season. So for a knockout cup game, is the preparation for a match day any different at all?
No, it's not different. We all know it's a one-off game, but anyway, league games are, you could say, are one-off games. You know, they're all important as each other. So no, I just think that this being the next game is very important for us to put in a performance in front of our fans, and move on to the next league game. That's all we can keep doing.
Now, Gaffer, we discussed this before. Funny enough, 6 years ago, you had Havant Waterlooville at this stage of the competition with Cheltenham, and a certain Danny Wright scored the winner that time. What are you expecting from Havant this time around?
Downs's just put his hand up over there because he scored as well. And people always forget that he scored in that same game. Was it the same game, Downs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Torquay game as well. Scored against Torquay.
So let's bring Downsy into this. Right in him, always smile about that. But we knew for them to take us to a replay at that time with Cheltenham. This time we know that their manager has brought in quite a lot of lads that have worked with him before in the National League. There's a couple of players that have worked with me again before. Some lads that are coming up against me from previous. But we've got to play our game really, and as I say, respect them, but we've got to go out and, you know, do all we can to win that 90-minute football match, and but expect a pretty tight game, because they're not a bad team.
They're only 1 division below Gaffer, aren't they? And actually in the FA Cup, that counts for very little, doesn't it?
Yeah, it counts for very little. You know, I was at Cambridge, and when we had a fantastic couple of FA Cup runs, and we were always the underdogs. So you've got nothing to lose when you're the underdog. But when you're the favourite, because we're a league up, and you know, we're at home, then you've got to be careful, because you've got to come out as if you're the underdogs, to have the same attitude as the opposition.
Gary, I mean, it's a great competition, isn't it? Because you don't know what the prizes are. I mean, there's some big names going in the first round, even bigger names, of course, in the third round.
Yeah, you want to get through to the first round. Somebody, was it you, Dom, said that we break a record or something, and if we...
It'd be the fourth successive year that you've taken us to the first round after 4 years where we didn't make the first round.
Okay,
So.
oh, that's good. That's good. I'll let the lads know that. It's good to know. But you just want to, you know, this for me is about winning the next game. Yeah, it'd be great to get into the first round proper and get Sunderland away or something. Sunderland at home. But you know, we'll wait and see what comes round when that comes round. But as I say, I like the FA Cup, and the boys have got to be ready for it. And they've had a tough week this week. You know, we've made sure nothing was comfortable because we wasn't comfortable watching their last couple of games. So, but this group of lads respond quite well to those sort of things. You know, it gives them something to think about, something different to think about. And whereas on the Sunday, it was a real problem for everyone because a few of them were going to go home and this, that and the other. But it just made them think of, you know, if they don't perform, then they're not going to get the rewards that they expect. So now they won't expect them because they'll know that sort of threat, if you like, is there. And as I said, whether it's motivation, whether it's a punishment, it doesn't matter. You know, whatever's in your head, you take it how you want it. But at the moment, we need to do something different. And to be fair, we put a programme together all week. There's been no days off. We've done a lot of work. We've done a lot of work, get the extra couple of days in, and hopefully it will show us in good stead. And the boys will put in a bit more. They always put in the energy and the effort, but sometimes it's misdirected, and they forget about our plan. So they're all sort of working as individuals. So we've had a bit more time now to start working them as a team, and that's what we've done all this week.
You talked earlier about the home form, obviously picking it up. I mean, have you been doing things specifically differently at home in the last two matches? Perhaps you didn't in the first three?
Not really. Just the boys have to step up to the plate, play well as individuals, and understand the team game, and not play the game in their own heads and forgetting about everything else. So that's, you know, we train pretty similar. You know, we didn't train any different for the win at Wealdstone than we did for the loss at Bromley. You know what I mean? So you've got 11 players against you. You've got 11 players, characters, personalities, footballers that are all different. So sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but you've got to make sure that you win more than you lose. We've still got a chance to do that, of course, and hopefully starting on Saturday.
You talked on a couple of occasions there. I remember a couple of weeks ago you said about them playing the game that's in your head. Is that almost the biggest issue for you at the moment, do you think, with your new team?
I think they're all trying to do that, but you've got to beat the opposition man for man and 11v11, unit to unit. You know, our forwards against their defenders, our defenders against their forwards, and sometimes it doesn't come off. Now, obviously, the more consistent teams are winning more than they're losing at all levels, and we've got to turn our season around a little bit because we've lost more than we won, and we've got to make sure that we turn that around as quickly as we can.
Thank you, Gary.
No problem.
Alan touched on last Sunday, and obviously you and Aaron lost your day off as well on Sunday, so it's not a sanction that you use lightly. Did you get the response you were looking for from the players?
Yeah, I think so. I think, well, we won't know till Saturday really, but we certainly got the response on the day, and also I think the lads think we've done it, but all our electricity at the training ground, which is why I'm well wrapped up, has gone off.
So you keep them cold as well?
Yeah, and they think we've done that on purpose, but actually we haven't. And obviously we have to, you know, come here in the cold as well ourselves. But I think they responded well daily because I think they've understood why we're doing it. Because when you punish somebody, when you motivate somebody, you explain the situation as well, why we're doing it. You know, what is the reason? If it was just for punishment, I would just say, right, no, you've let us down, we're going to let you down now, but that don't help you for the next game. So we have to make sure that they understand the reasons. For instance, on the first day that we came back, before we started training on the Sunday, they watched the whole 90 minutes video. So, you know, I sort of said, look, our fans, and we've had to watch it, now you've got to watch it, you know, because I'm sure they weren't going to watch it at home, because, you know, not any of them really come out with too much credit on the day. So, you know, they looked at that, they understood what we've got to do in training. We've got to get a lot of runs in, we've got to do this, that and the other, we've got to look fitter. They are fit, but they didn't look fit on that day, and that was disappointing. So they've got to get much better stats over the next couple of games than they got at Bromley.
Is there a lot of chat when they watch a game like that, or is it a bit of a wake-up call for them?
A lot of what?
A lot of chat while the game is going on, a lot of talking.
No, you could hear a pin drop, don't worry about that. You know, in fact, we make them anyway assess themselves. So it's the old school one of ticks and crosses, we call it. So we make them put a tick next to their name, they're all marking themselves. It helps them concentrate as well. A tick if they've had a completed pass, a cross if they give it away, a tick with a ring round it if it was an effective pass, made something happen, and a cross with a ring round it if they've messed up and it cost us or give the opposition a chance. So that simple thing, then we can add up all the ticks, all the crosses, and then you say, that's why you lost the game. And it also makes them look at themselves a little bit more in depth.